Hello everyone, it's Christine here, and in this video I want to do two things. I want to do the draw for my giveaway, and I'll come back to that in a moment. And I also want to show you some beautiful goodies I got in the post this week from an online fabric store in Northern Territory here in Australia, which was having a 50% off everything sale. So I got some absolute bargains, which are just fabulous, particularly charm squares, but some really interesting, lovely fabrics as well. So I thought I would show you those. But let's first of all do the draw. So with my giveaways, I never post about them in the subject line. It's only ever in the actual content of the video itself, and I let you know in the video how you can enter. So I did that a few videos back, and it's now past the date that I said I would sort of harvest any entries and put them into the draw. I do my draws old school, but I'm using paper here, and I've written on it with friction marker, so I can actually reuse the paper by removing the writing with heat. I've previously used little fabric scraps, but there was actually such a large number of entries this time that I ran out of fabric scraps, so I used paper instead. So the prize that I'm giving away is, because I've got these lovely Tim Holtz botanical stamps that a friend gifted to me for the field notes project that we're doing with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I'm very happy to stamp some of these onto fabric, either onto calico type fabric. Let me grab a scrap of calico. So this sort of natural, and I think it's called muslin in other places. Or to use some of my silk that I've got from Silk and Stitch and to stamp onto that. This one I've actually done some eco flower pounding onto it, and then I've just used one of the little botanical stamps in the brown colour to stamp over. So two choices of fabric, the calico or the silk, or I can do a mix of them, and choices of the stamping colour. So I can do this sort of brownie colour, which is what I've used for my field notes little journal. So yeah, just really lovely little stamps. Little bird, and purposely I kept the calico sort of looking like I want this to look like it's been out in the field and sort of been worn, and so I do want that crinkly look to it. But I can definitely iron it fully flat for the ones that I send you, or I can do it in this green, which I haven't actually used yet, or the black, which I haven't used yet, or I can do you a mix across both calico and silks. So I'll just do enough that I can fill up an envelope and still send it overseas, if it is going overseas in an affordable manner. If it's within Australia, I can probably even put in a few extras as well. So very happy to share the love. And I think I'll do 3 draws, so I'll gift 3 people their own custom selected stamps, because there was such a lovely amount of people that left an entry and have just been so supportive and so lovely lately. So I'd like to do that. So without further ado, let's I feel like I should put a piece of fabric or something over the top so I can't see down. Let's do that. Oh, and the sun's just decided to come out, so I'm just going to, oops, and I bumped the camera. Let me just give it a really good shake. And my camera's trying to tell me that it's running out of battery. Just rinsing my hand around inside. Okay, let's get number 1. And and I hope I say your name right. Is it Raquel or Raquel? Raquel or Raquel? There's a few different ways to say it, so I should have probably asked you a long time ago, because we often chat in the comments exactly how your name is pronounced. But yes, that is absolutely, I'm so thrilled to be sending you something. And then we've got, now this person probably does have a name, but this is what YouTube shows when I go through my comments. User MK8SH9TJHN. And third one, making sure I'm getting right down to the bottom to make sure everyone gets a fair chance. And then Denny Pond of You. Now you often comment as well, so how lovely to have 3 folks that I can send some goodies out to. So what I'll do is post a comment under your comment that you left on the video where you entered the draw. I'll give you my email address where you can contact me. And then when you contact me, let me know whether you want calico or silk, and if you have a preference for the colours of the stamps, or you want a mix of calico and silk, or a mix of the colours of the stamps. If you don't manage to get that in the email, we can tic-tac backwards and forwards on it anyway, but just send me an email and let me know which of these ones you are, and then we will go from there. And if you can also just reply to my comment below your comment so that I know you have seen it, that will be really, really great. So congratulations. I'll pop this over here, put my labels over there. I might just need to plug my camera in, my phone in, so that it doesn't go flat. Just a moment, it will just jiggle for a seckie. Always the way, always out of battery. Now the sun is coming in the window, so hopefully it doesn't become a problem. I'm going to sit down, and I might bring the camera down a little bit. Okay. So that should be okay. I think I might just move it in a bit so you don't get the sunlight in your eyes. Just a little bit over that way. Just bring you over a bit there. Hopefully that will do the trick. So as I mentioned, I saw that a website was having a sale on fabrics, and the website is, and I'll put it in the description box below, I don't have any affiliations with them, but I love a good deal to get some fabrics, and particularly these charm squares are really super. And I was kind of feeling a bit inspired by this little piece that I made, and also by feed sack fabrics, which I got recently in those old quilts that I got at the Embroiderers Guild de-stash. But I was kind of a bit inspired by these sorts of colours and styles. So this is my little thread holder. I use it when I'm just working downstairs on the couch, for example. I can put a little needle in the Suffolk puff, and have my little scissors and my threads in there. So they're the threads that I'm using to do the thread painting on my tulip for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So I was inspired by those sort of colours, and this particular site, which is called Crooked Quilts, so crookedquiltfabrics.com.au. It looks like the owner is currently out of the office for her brother's wedding, but it does look like they are still having the sale, 50% off everything, no code required, and they just apply the discount at the checkout. So yeah, it was such a good deal. Let me just see if I can quickly find what it cost, and then we'll have a look through the fabrics together. Just a moment. I should have looked this up beforehand, but never mind. Okay, there we are. I have it now. So this one is called Lighthearted by Camille Ross Kelly. And just scanning down to see if they were the final prices paid. I think they were. So 50% off. So this is normally $23, but I got it for 50%. So that's $11.50, which is pretty amazing. And so charm squares are 5-inch squares. And I'll slip them out because I'll probably just end up popping these in little reused zippy bags in my drawer where I keep all my charm squares. So we can have a look through them together. Beautiful little hearts. So it looks like some of them you get doubles of. Again, very, very useful to just have these little stripy bits, etc. I'll move it up a bit, and I might move the camera across a little bit again just to try and avoid the sunlight. Reminds me of some of the fabrics of like curtains and things that I had as a child. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful pinks. Sorry, I'll move it so you can see both in light. some more lovely little Love Hardy ones. And the great thing with these charm squares is they all coordinate with each other, so it makes for very easy projects without you having to pull out your entire stash and try and find coordinating fabrics. And I do quite often like the mini charm squares, but because these were such a good price, I couldn't really go past these larger ones as well. And it gives a few more options for, particularly if you're doing larger hexies or you want to use them more at scale. Sweet little bows. And so often you'll see the same pattern repeating, but then it's in a different colourway across the pack. And they generally put all the colours, like all the pinks together, then you might get some whites with the pinks. Again, my little hearts, and now we're into a nice sort of greeny bluey colour. At least that way you get to see what's in the packet. Sometimes hard with these charm packs, you don't see a full set of the range of fabrics when you're looking at them online, so you just have to take a bit of a punt. But generally I've been pretty pleased with the charm packs I've got. Because for me, I wouldn't necessarily want a whole lot of any of these fabrics. It's just having a small quantity is really what we need for our slow stitching. And then we're into a green. So yeah, lots of colour variety in this, which is lovely. It's a very sweet pattern. I really like that one. And then just a nice plain white. Oh no, it's not a plain white. It's actually got a little embossed, the little heart design on it. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see because of the sun. Stripes, and then little crosses and flowers. So that is that pack. It's fallen over there. So let's then take a look at Sunwashed by Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts. Like that one should go up that way. Got some little bits of fluff on it. Should I go this way? I think those first two are similar, same, I think, yes. And this one might look like plain white, but again it's got an embossed design, little crosses in a little circle. And some sweet little cherries. These ones look like little bees with little leaves for their wings. That is incredibly sweet. I like that idea. Might have to think about something for my nature journal, although I am going quite realistic on my nature journal. Haven't had as much stitching time this weekend. I was cleaning out gutters yesterday. Because it's amazing how, we've got a few large trees above the gutters, so the leaves build up in them. So my bottom muscles are feeling quite utilised today. My legs, I was just like, wake up this morning, I thought, why do I feel a little bit tired in the body? And I went, going up and down a ladder and holding yourself at the top of a ladder. Luckily I don't really have it. If I know that I'm kind of safe, and Mum was, because Alex was back with Travis, this was down at the house that I'm getting ready to rent out. Mum was holding the ladder for me because she popped round with me. And we thought it might just be a small job, because she said she'd spotted some grass in the gutter, but it ended up being a bit of a bigger exercise in pruning some of the branches. It's always the way with things with the house. You always think, oh, that's a small job, and then it ends up being a big job. But that's okay. And then I came home and was just sorting out some bits and pieces, trying to just gradually work through. It's amazing, like when you keep papers, like when there used to be paper bills and all those, like the gas bill, the electricity bill, the rates notice, and you keep all of them, and they're from 10 years ago. You know, you can recycle the paper. So beautiful, bright, cheery patterns. But some of them remind me of the feed sack fabrics. Very cheery. Reminds me of Dotty Bee as well. Sally from Dotty Bee, she uses these lovely cheery. And here's the beautiful bees with their little wings in a lovely blue colourway. Multicolour little crosses. This one almost reminds me of a map, when they use the sort of the little crosses as part of the showing the, what am I thinking of, not the undulation, no, that's not what I'm thinking of, it will come to me in a moment. Essentially the hills and the valleys. What is that word? The topography, is that what I'm thinking of? Or is it a different word I'm thinking of? I mean, it is the topography, but I think I was actually thinking of a different word, but we'll let me off on that one. This one is Peachy Keen by Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts. So in fact, the same designer, but this is sun washed, so Corey Yoder. So in fact, I think you can see some parallels between, even though they're different design ways, you can kind of look at this and see some similarities to the design. This one, again, you might look at it and think it's pure white, but it's got little stars embossed on it. And another one with little stars. I wonder how it would work, because it's almost like they are embossed on top. I'm wondering if you painted whether, you'd even be able to see. I might even try on some of the white ones using my Inktense. This one, beautiful little, I actually thought it had sort of peachy colour because the peach from underneath was shining through, but it's actually a plain white background, and then the sweet little peaches. These fabrics really remind me of sort of summer. They've got that summer vibiness to them, which I guess makes sense with their names. So Peachy Keen and Light-Hearted, and what was the other one? Sun Washed, summery colours, which is nice to brighten up a winter's day. Always good to have the sort of the ginghams checks, a very miniature version of them. The beautiful peaches again, greens. It's nice to have a look through, because then you kind of know what you've got and it sort of sticks in your mind, whereas if you just had it sitting in the drawer, you might not remember what's in there. Like, I'll know if I'm doing something with bees, I might come back and get those little bees with the little leaf wings. So all the peachy, so the pinky peach and then the quite peachy peach, orangey peach, I guess. And then some basic stripes. Again, that's that little design of the little stars, almost like crosses, but stars really. Lovely little flowers. Beautiful grey, slightly grey-green background. Again, a good basic, which is good when you're kind of blending in. If you were doing a like a hexagon flower or star, you don't want all the designy pieces competing with each other, so it is good to have these more basic ones. But as you can see, it's such a good way to get a really big variety of fabrics without having to spend a lot on buying a lot of fabrics. And if you're short on space too, these can be a really, space effective way to build up your stash. And you'll probably find even in many slow stitch projects, you might even only use a portion of one of these anyway. So particularly if you have some things like calico, and if, like, I picked this up at an op shop, so it was second-hand calico, you can get that very affordably, even when you buy it new, and then you can use that as your base fabric, but then sort of, layer other fabrics onto it. So that's peachy keen. Peachy keen, yep. Then I'll go into my little mini charm squares. So these ones are 42 squares, 100% cotton, 2.5 inch squares. So 4 of these squares fit into the space of one of the large ones. And so these ones were, just logging in to my phone so I can see, so $12, so they came down to $6. Yep. So that is very, very good price. $6 for one of these. So they're the same I got because I couldn't get a large pack of these. I got 2 of these because I thought they were quite cute as well, but I only need to take one of them out of their packaging. Sorry, I'll put this one over here out of the way. See, now the sun has gone in and the next batch of rain I think is on its way. Got my cup of tea. I've got a beautiful puka tea in elderberry and echinacea. I just like the flavour of it, but I figure it's good in winter as well, just to keep myself well. I should touch wood. Touch wood. I've got a beautiful old spool on my desk there. Little tulips. Sweet little flowers. Lovely yellow, almost like a check. Kind of musty, almost mustardy colour, but very, just jaunty and fun. As I say, I really felt like when I saw these on the website, I was like, I probably do need to make, because I don't have as many of these. I probably do have things in my collection, but not as many of these brights, sort of retro brights, I guess, vintage brights. Yeah, that's probably the difference. I've got things in my collection that are brights, but not in these vintage prints, apart from the sort of the feed sack piece I got recently, the pieces of quilt. So again, these would go beautifully with the peachy one. This one, did I tell you what it was? Bountiful Blooms by Sherry and Chelsea. And yeah, $6 Australian, which would be even less for those of you in the US. It's a very strange morning. We were sitting down having our coffee, and the news suddenly switched to the shooting that had occurred at the Trump rally, and to hear that someone in the crowd passed away. It's incredibly sad. Whatever your views on politics, and I'm not going to go into politics on this channel, I fundamentally don't believe in violence, and for people to lose their life is tragic. It's a crazy world we live in, is all I'm going to say. And I am grateful here in Australia that we do have strong gun laws. Doesn't mean that there aren't horrible things happen, and in fact when you look at the amount of domestic violence and other violence against women, crimes happening, that is incredibly disturbing, and that's even without guns necessarily being used in those, but there have been some instances as well recently where that's occurred. So there's lots we need to do to fix our societies. Sorry to go all heavy and dark. Sometimes it's good just to talk these things out in case anyone else is feeling a bit sort of shaken by seeing things. As I say, it's not about saying anything one way or other in politics, and I definitely will not be commenting on politics in another country, but I wouldn't actually speak on politics either in Australia. I figure everyone can have their view, but we need to respectfully engage with each other. Okay, on to happier things. Fabric. So Love Struck. I think we do. Yeah, we definitely need some more love in the world. So Love Struck by Lella Boutique. So this one was again would have been $6, which is fabulous. So these ones are probably more, I think they're starting to verge a bit more into my more colours that I do have, the sort of the burgundy and green. Again, little white spots, not sure how well they show up on the camera. As I say, I'll just put these into little zippy bags that I reuse to keep them in my drawer. Sometimes if you actually take them out of their packs, it means you're more likely to actually delve in and use them as well. I don't want to just keep things and sort of hoard them. It's about, if I'm adding something to my stash, it's because I'm going to use it. And as I say, they're just such a convenient way when you kind of want some coordinating patterns and colours to work with. And these ones are just perfect for so many of the either my little hexagons or doing my larger hexagons, and they're a great, it's kind of quite an effective way to use them. Plus there's lots of projects that use charm squares and mini charm squares and use the whole size of them. But because they've also got this edging, they tend to not fray, and it's probably the type of fabric that they use as well. It's a beautiful soft cotton, like it's pretty, not as thin as like a voile or something, but it's pretty thin, which makes it soft and supple and easy to stitch through. See, now the sun's coming out again. It is such a funny day. It cannot decide what it is doing in the weather here in Melbourne. That's why we say 4 seasons in one day, and it's why we always go out with a coat and an umbrella and layers so that we can layer up or strip off if it's getting too warm. Very sweet, lovely fabrics. I will be showing you these other ones as well, but we'll get through. We've got one more little mini charm after this one. You can obviously fast forward, or if you aren't interested in seeing all the fabrics, but I thought if you're considering any of these, particularly if you're in Australia and if there's some of these left on the website still, you might be keen to see what's in the packs. And as I say, I hadn't looked through them yet, so perfect chance to do that with you. Have a little chat. It's been lovely to see some of my stitchy friends getting back to doing videos. So my friend Elizabeth, I was so thrilled to see that she's going to be doing the Roxy Journal of Stitchery, the field notes. So she's back after a bit of a hiatus, which I was just thrilled. I periodically check her channel, and then when I saw there was a video, I was like, oh, yay. So this one is Christmas Eve, and again by Lella. It's Lella Boutique. So again, sort of burgundies, but not like these ones aren't super Christmassy. You wouldn't have to use them for a Christmas craft. Again, a nice plain white, but with little embossed spots on it. 2 of those. And again, these spotty ones, not super Christmassy. These are probably more Christmassy with the little mini wreaths. Aren't they sweet? And I love how even at this mini charm size you get a decent sort of pattern. Again, this with the holly leaves is probably more on the Christmassy side. But then stripes, you could use that in any project. The fa la 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 la, that's definitely Christmassy. That's definitely Christmassy. And I am planning to get started with some Christmas projects too. I've actually got a video that I don't think I've shared with you from, I think it was around the beginning of the year when I got a stash of Christmas goodies that were being sold out on another regionally based quilt store. And I don't think I've ever actually posted that video. I'd uploaded it, but for some reason I had other videos at the time. So I might need to share that because I want to start using some of the fabric from that and just start doing a little bit of Christmas preparation, because otherwise Christmas comes around all too soon and I don't get to use the yummy things I have in my stash. So let me know in the comments if you are happy to see. You might go, no, I don't want to see any Christmas yet. Or you might say, yeah, I'd like to start thinking about getting a few Christmassy things prepared, do a little bit every month. And then when you get to December, you'll be like, yep, I've got those decorations made. I've got those little gifts made. I am ready for the crazy season. So I'd love to know what you think in the comments. And I know not everyone celebrates Christmas either. And for some people, it can be a tough time as well. So totally respect that too. Yeah, some really sweet little fabrics in here. And again, through the different colourways, and now we're into the greens. Some of these don't actually have to be Christmas. I could definitely use something like that in my field journal. And then the good basics like the checks. Is that one the same as that one? Oh no, this one's done in the white on the green. And that's like that front piece that we had, but in a totally different colourway. And then some spots, and then some of that. So that's that pack. Now I will show you the other lovely bits that I got. So this one reminds me a bit of, let me just lean over and see if I can pull it up from over here without dropping everything out of it. And you probably can't see it, but remember I had made, and yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to get it under the camera. I had made my piece with vintage patterns and things on it, and it was a carrier that I made as part of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery when we were making useful items. And I think I managed to knock these over, but that's okay, we'll just move those over. And it had all different fabric designs or old fabric, vintage fabric patterns on it. And then I saw on the same website and 50% off. So this one was, let me see if I can quickly pull that one up. This was Hometown Patterns. So it was a single quantity, so I think it's a 25 centimetre, quarter of a metre, and it was $3.30 or $3.35. It's originally $6.75, so half of that. So it's a decent quantity, and it's got these beautiful little vintage patterns on it. So that will definitely be great because I've got a whole collection of fabrics that have a sort of a sewing theme to them, and this will be lovely to add to it. So that's a Riley Blake Patterns, Hometown by Laurie, I think it's Laurie Holt, and that is very sweet. Just give you, the sun is out again, so hopefully it's not causing too much havoc. But I think that's a really fun little fabric, and of course I've folded it in such a way that I don't know if I can actually get it to fold correctly back together, but we shall see. We shall see. Probably should fold it off camera because you're probably thinking, my goodness, she is faffing around. So yes, we will do that. We won't make you watch me folding. This next one I got particularly with the Field Notes journal in mind, and it is, what's its name? Oh, Flower Pot Glossary Sage. And so again, $6.25 actually, so cheaper, so about $3.07 essentially, again for a 25 centimetre piece. But it's got all sorts of sort of growing terms like biodegradable, black gold, and sort of definitions that sit with each of them: transplant, deadhead, annuals, pollinator, aeration. So I thought that could be kind of fun to just have some sections of this in the field notes sort of background and borders that I'll be creating. And so this one is, doesn't say, it's How Lovely the Science of Growing Things. So I think I'll even, the silence, sorry, did I say science? The How Lovely the Silence of Growing Things. Might even use that in my piece, but I don't have the rest of the selvage. But if you went onto the website, I'm sure you would find it if you typed in Flower Pot Glossary. So there's that. And then there's another version of the Lorry Holt with the fabric pieces in this sort of pinky reddy colour. So again, that would be great. That's another 25 centimetre piece of that. And then there is this Riley Blake Designs pattern. And so this one, I've got two different colourways in this. It's called Cookbook Stamps. And this is Cottage because the other one's the red one. And I just thought, and I'm about to sneeze, excuse me. Sometimes I find when the sun shines through the window, it makes me sneeze. Does that happen to you? So yeah, these I thought could be great to just cut them out and use them like little miniature stamps on things. So they've got tea and roosters and jam and tea and cherries, strawberries. So that is sweet. And then there's this one, which is in the reds and yellows. So again, goes quite well with some of these other little charm squares, the sort of, yeah, the colourways of those. You can see a bit of that in them also. And so yeah, Riley Blake Design, something about bee in my bonnet. That's great as well. I'll use that little bit of selvage. But yeah, it could be very cute as little stamps. Just love that selvage there with the little apples too. So that is my collection of lovely little goodies. I try not to buy too much because I do have a lot in my stash, but sometimes when there's such a good deal and when you can get things like these incredibly useful charm squares, and being mindful as well about what I don't have in my collection and trying to just complement that is helpful also. So I hope you enjoyed that, and congratulations again to our winners, and Denny Pondview, user MK8SH9TJ8M, and Raquel, I think it's Raquel. I hope I've said it right. I apologise if I haven't. So I'll be posting a comment by the time this video shows and uploads, which will be this evening. The comment will have been below your video, so hopefully you will have seen it, and I will include my email address. Reply to my comment so I know you've seen it, and then send me an email at the address that I give you, and we can chat about getting your stamps done by me and then sent on the way to you so that you can use the stamped fabric in your projects as well. So thanks everyone, take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.